My next speaker is Sulema Jahangir. Sulema Jahangir is a solicitor in the UK and a regular speaker at the international conferences. She frequently appears on media platforms including BBC, ITV, and Pakistani channels, and has written articles on legal topics for newspapers such as the Sunday Times and Dawn. Sulema is a visiting lecturer for MPhil course at the University of Cambridge and is a fellow of the International Academy of Family Lawyers. She chairs the Forced Marriage Committee and a member of Resolution Law Asia and the Pakistan Bar Council and the Lahore High Court Bar Association. Sulema Jahangir, floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me at this very well organized event. And वो event पाकिस्तानी नहीं होता तो वैसे भी 1 घंटा लेट आता है. I was very pleased to see that. And thank you everyone for all the illustrious speakers before me. I have to say that, I think mainly जो मोटी बात है वो हम सब ने जो करी वो एक जैसी है. And I take up from what Aisha Sahiba said about the inner battles. And I think that's where I will start from, is the inner battles that politicians used to have with their senior partners. And I think the apathy that we feel is that those inner battles have completely stopped. There is now not even a pretense of them. एक ज़माना था जब हमारे politicians इतने बुरे नहीं होते थे. After all, we have politicians who have lost their lives for politics. Not just in Sindh, but in Balochistan, in KPK, in Punjab. So we have had politicians who have given up their lives and they been murdered for doing politics. But I think sadly, they would be rolling in their graves now at the situation that we're in now. Because we're in a situation where politics has stopped doing politics. Politicians have stopped doing politics. And they have basically said, there's not even a pretense. The pretense is that everything is normal, what they think is normal, but actually everyone knows, even a child will know that this is not normal. अब मुझे बताएं कि एक मुल्क में जहाँ पे इतनी ज़बरदस्त inflation है, people can't pay their bills, but yet you are denying people even the right to protest. So I mean, how are they going to breathe? It's just going to implode. And I think that is what we are going towards. There are politicians have not even bothered to even pretend that they're listening to people. मतलब उन्होंने बिल्कुल pretense पे छोड़ दिया, and they've left this kind of time bomb which is ticking, and at some point there will be some kind of explosion, which is very sad. I mean, the topic that I was supposed to speak on was about religious minorities in Sindh, and I was going to talk about forced marriages and conversions, and I will come on to that later because I've written extensively about it and I'll talk to you about the law. But the context is very important because minorities, majorities, everyone has to live in this country. And the context of this country is that we are now literally at a place where we have no hope from our leaders. So I want to talk about the other issue, which is in this context, is the issue of blasphemy. And this is an issue that we can't talk about. I recently wrote an article about it, which none of the newspapers wanted to publish. So I still published it in sort of social media, but none of the newspapers wanted to publish it because it was about blasphemy. And it is the one thing that scares us all. Because ये एक आपके senior partners ने एक license to kill दे दिया. And that license to kill was usually for them, but now it's for everyone. For example, the other day I was getting messages from my friends कि आपका कोई fake Facebook account को fake किसी ने बना. I mean, normally I'm so busy I would care, but now I would be worried because what happened to Dr. Shahnawaz in Umarkot? And उसके बारे में people in Umarkot are worried. Why was Dr. Shahnawaz murdered by the police? But आपकी politicians ने क्या किया? They are silent. Not silent, actually one end PPP का है. PPP, which is a more forward-looking party, which is a more inclusive party, which is the one party in Pakistan that sort of liberal left would vote for. उस time he said, well, it was very good that the police shot him. I mean, that man had a Facebook account. People जिनको नहीं पता इस case के बारे में. Just recently, a doctor was murdered in Umarkot in Sindh on charges of the police murdered him because apparently on his social media account there was some blasphemous allegedly content posted. He said that my social media account, someone hacked into it. He handed his phone to the police. He said, you know, take me to prison. Here's my phone, but just don't kill me. The police shot him. Not the people, not the mob. The police shot him. And then when his mother tried to bury his body, she was told that you can't bury it. There's an agent because the police wanted to wipe out the evidence of the murder, right? So she buried it in the jungle, and the police went and burned the body down, so that there is no evidence left. What did the government do? They suspended 3 police officers and they made an inquiry committee, which is headed by the police, to look into what their colleagues have been doing. Right? But that man is now dead. Similarly, Quetta में भी एक हफ्ते पहले एक और blasphemy पे एक murder हुआ. So this is something that I think, I mean, for me, if I were to live in Pakistan, it would be a very, very serious worry for me. Because, you know, if I'm a lawyer and practicing, anyone can say, you know, इसने ये कर दिया या ये का. I mean, what kind of country is that? And जहाँ पे 97% people are Muslims. I mean, how does this make sense? And they're not just Muslims, they are practicing Muslims. I mean, Pakistan is a very religious place. So, I mean, anyway, so the article that I wrote about was also about, not technically about blasphemy, but it was a case of this elderly man whose name was Mubarak Sani. He was in prison for an offense जो अभी तक बना नहीं था. Offense अभी तक introduced नहीं हुआ. Offense ये था कि you cannot distribute certain prescriptive books. He distributed a book to someone and he was put in prison. So the case got to काफी देर prison में रहा. Anyway, the case was appealed again, came to Justice Faizisa. Justice Faizisa said that you cannot, under the Constitution, imprison someone for an offense retrospectively. क्योंकि offense तो कभी introduce ही नहीं हुआ था. And इसने anyway जो उसका offense था, उसकी punishment 6 months. He's already spent 18 months in prison. तो इसको I'm going to acquit him. So he was released on bail. And of course, the Maulvis, the Jamaat-e-Islami, and our PMLN. Now this is another of our junior partners जो हैं हमारे. इनकी बजाती मैं आपको बताती हूँ. PMLN government, जहाँ पे लोगों के पास भूख और बिजली के बिल के पैसे नहीं हैं, इनकी क्या प्रायोरिटी है कि मुबारक सानी को वापस जेल में डालो. I mean, can you imagine? So PMLN government, along with Jamaat-e-Islami, ने खूब जुलूस निकाले against Faizisa, said कि तुम भी blasphemy करोगे अगर तुम उसको बदले को छोड़ दिया.